Okay, it's Saturday, June 28th. And let's see, what time is it? It is 7:30, give or take, 7:25. And poor Fred has been relegated back to weight state. I got the head put on yesterday, and I got some video. I'm not sure I'll publish it or not, because it was not that great. Anyway, I loaded up the head with valves, put the head on, and now I'm going to put the rockers in place. But I got a call from a fellow down in Casa Grande, and he just bought this pretty little, I think 73, he said, T140. And let me see, I've got it written down over here. It's a, oh my goodness, it's a 77. Yeah, late model. Yeah, shifts on the left. Okay, it's a beautiful thing. It was just restored by someone. He bought it, and he bought it. It's not following the left carburetor very well. I've cleaned the pilot a couple of times, but it's just not following it. The tickler is stuck. It won't go down any farther. So I'm going to take this carburetor apart and find out what's happening. It runs. I mean, it starts and runs. But something's wrong on that left-hand side. And look at this right-hand pipe. It's very, very, very blued. So this side has been running lean. So I'll probably take this carburetor off also. It does have a Payson ignition system in it. I'll check the timing, and we'll go from there. There are things under here, the seat, that I'm not thrilled with. The wires are interesting. I might cap them off a little nicer. It has a Podronics rectifier in it, and I may change a few things in here just for neatness. And this is interesting. That's well done. Whoever did this did good. It's not bad. I'll clean it up a little bit. Get these wires better insulated. Anyway, overall, it's a very nice bike. So I'm going to pull the carbs off and go through them as a starting point and see what we see. Well, it's about 15 minutes later, 7:45. I just started to take the carbs off. I've got the air filter assembly off, and the carbonizers are right here. Gonna take this one off first, and then I walked over here to double check this one. Side cover is off, filters out, and something just didn't seem right. And I realized, let me get in here. Something just doesn't feel right. This bowl's on backwards. The filter's way up here instead of back here. You can do that. It's wrong, but you can do it. So I'm going to drop this bowl off first and take a look. See if I can turn it around, maybe solve the problem from the get-go. Okay, maybe that's why I'm sure that's why tickler wasn't working. All right, so I'll be back in a while. All right, I've got the bowl off, and this is the gasket, and it's broken a little bit here. This really wouldn't matter because that's not the gasket face, but what the heck, we'll put that aside. I've got a collection of used. Now remember, at this point in time, this constitutes a used gasket, okay, which we're not going to reuse. So that goes away. Now here I have a whole passel of used gaskets I've taken off. Whoops, that was broken. Let's toss him out. And I picked a good one, and I've cleaned it off with the razor blade, taking the flat side, using some WD-40 and this scraper to scrape it smooth, and I will put a little WD-40 on it when I put it onto the bowl. In the meantime, back at the ranch, when you check the displacement on this, let's see if I can get in here and do it like so. It's just a tad bit high. So I'm going to bow to the sentiments of my followers And I'm going to adjust this a little bit lower, about 1/8 of an inch right here, by bending the adjustable tab. Something I have always been loath to do, but as my followers say, it's made to be bent. Frank, stop doing it the hard way. So I'm going to bend this tab down a little bit so that it will raise this float level about 1/8 of an inch away from the top of the bowl. Okay, so I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to put this thing back together and start the bike. Well, I don't know if the heat is getting to my iPhone or if the heat is getting to me, but I just did like a 10-minute video and it's not here. I mean, the camera just turned itself off. So, all right, recap. Basically, the carburetor's back on, and once again, I use my fancy tool, which I will show to you close up this time. See how that goes. This is a stubby screwdriver that I cut about that much off of the handle to make this longer. Then I cut the end off the back and dished it so you can balance it on your fingertip while you turn it. And I'll try to do this one-handed because, well, let me put the, let's put this up here again. I don't understand what's happening. So anyway, when you put these screws in, the back one especially, but you can put this here like this and balance it on your finger and turn it with your hand. So it's really handy when you're in the back working on the ones that are hidden. You can just hold it up with your finger and turn it and put the screws in. It's a really handy thing to make. It's just a stubby that, like I say, I cut about that much off the handle, all of this, cut the back off just above the shaft, and dished it slightly so that it will sit on my fingertip, like so, as I turn it. Turn it. Okay, see that? It's kind of nice. It's a really handy thing to make. This screwdriver's only job in the whole wide world is to put the screws into a concentric float bowl. Works well. Okay, so everything's back together. Float bowl's facing the right way. Gas lines are hooked up. No leak. Got a good tickle. I'm going to start the bike and see how it runs. All right, negatory on that because what I was in the middle when I found out that the camera had stopped recording is checking the slide action when you open the throttle. You want them to rise at the same time. So I've taken the idle adjustment completely out on both sides. It's not doing anything. And now you check to see if these slides are coming up off the bottom of the carb at the same time. And I'm going to work from the other side because it's easier. First of all, you do have good snap. Now this one, right now, when I hold it like this, is not moving. I'm pressing in to hold the slide in place. Okay, this much play. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. Now I do that just a little bit, and I'm just barely raising the slide. Same over here. Okay, so what that tells you is that since this is a single with a split, it tells you that the splitter is balanced out. These slides are rising at the same time, simultaneously. Okay? Now what we do at this point is set the initial idle. I'll show you a trick. It's kind of cool. Where's my favorite? Here it is. Well, first of all, since everything's open here, you can do it by feel. You can stick your finger in there, okay? Thunk. And turn it down. You hold it, okay? And then turn the adjuster in until it touches the slide. Right there. Right there. I'm just barely touching the slide. Okay, now that's where you want to leave it for a minute. I'll show you the other. If the air cleaners are in place and you can't get your finger in there, you can't see it. Put your screwdriver on here like this Okay, and hold it at the bottom. Let's see if you can see that. Okay? Yeah, you can see that now. Hold your finger here and snap the throttle. And just turn it in. And right there, you can feel it. You can feel it in your fingers. You're just now touching the throttle. So if you can't get access to the carburetor, just do this and you'll know when the slide is just barely touching this. Now with it just barely touching this, I usually set it for 1.5 turns in. 1/2, 1, 1/2. I'm going to do the other side also. That's a good enough place to start your idle adjustment. So the pilot adjustment initial setting is 1.5 turns, and I make the idle adjustment the same thing. Now, just for grins, I'll do it the same way. Okay, now there, I'm not hitting it. Now I'm just barely touching it now. So I will turn it 1/2. I lost it, sorry. It came off. Okay, right there. Okay. 1/2, 1, 1/2. Okay, pilot adjusters are set at 1 1/2. Idle is set at 1 1/2. We have a bike that's ready to start, theoretically. So I'll set this up and we'll do a start. And at least this thing is still running. Okay, we'll set this up and do a start. All right, this is going to be a cold start. Haven't started the bike since yesterday. Let's see how it goes. Got good snap. Gas is on. Got a good tickle on both sides. Choke is off completely. Okay. And ignition is on. Let's see what happens. Okay, this bike did run yesterday. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's see what's happening. Let's see, this is throttle off. Good headlight. So we got lots of power. Okay, we're done for now. I'm gonna get Kevin to come down and do some size 13 kicking on it, because my 9s aren't doing the job. All right. Okay, I've got the bike up in the air. I just lubricated the cable and relocated the throttle so it's over the brake handle. There are two thoughts over the brake handle. Yes, watch what you're doing, Frank. Over the brake handle rather than under the brake handle. There are two thoughts. There are two kinds of guys in the world. There are cable over guys and there are cable under guys. I'm a cable over guy because I figure there's less chance of this cable interfering with this brake lever if I put it over it rather than if I put it under it. So I'm a cable over guy. Just personal preference, it's over. While I had the part, I put a little oil in it, cleaned up the throttle, got great great snap. It fits nicely. He's got it run through the eyelet. I never use that eyelet. I always just come either around here or around here, depending on the length of the throttle cable. But since this cable fits beautifully, that's very nice through the eyelet. Let me show you something. I'm going back to plan A, which was to take both carburetors off the bike. Let's see if you can see in here. I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'm going to pull this up and look at, see the needle? You see all the crud on that needle? That's not supposed to be there. Ooh, look at that. So, yeah, I'm going to take the carbs off. Let's see if I can reach far enough over to open it and you can see it down here also. I thought I had a quick fix when I reversed. Oh, there, now you can see the needle just a little bit. It's pretty cruddy. So I am going to take these carbs off. All right, yeah, that's a decision that I should have done in the first place. I thought I had a quick fix, so I'm going to take the carbs off and do an internal cleaning. All right, it's 10 o'clock. I just took a breakfast break. My neighbor across the street, Richard, went up and got some of them there donuts, and they brought me back a bear claw. Oh, it was so good. So I'm back on the bike now. We'll subtract out an hour or so there for coffee and donuts we just shared. The carbs are off. A little question in my mind about use of gaskets here. I'll have to check the book. Usually there are no gaskets between the carburetor and the manifold because there's an O-ring. But we'll find out. Now the other side, on this side, the manifold stayed. And on the other side, the manifold came off with the carburetor. So this definitely does have a gasket, and I will replace that. And right now, what I'll do is I'll clean this part, the cap and the choke slide. I'll clean that in situ, which I'll think is a fancy word for meaning in place. So I'll just clean the heck out of that as it hangs there. There's no sense in taking that apart. No advantage. So I'll clean that right there. Over here I have the carbs. Here's the manifold that came off with this carb. It just, sometimes these nuts would rather undo the whole stud than the nut come off. So I will take these off, put this back on with the proper gasket. The crossover tube is very thin, and it was like so, which could be collapsed. I'll replace it with a stronger piece of tubing. Probably wasn't collapsed, but anyway, I'll change that. Parts are pretty scruffy. There's the slide. And here's the main jet block. I'll take that all apart. These are not Premiers, but they are the predecessor to Premier. Late in the game, before the Premiers came out, I think they planned on it, and they threaded this side. This is usually blanked off by casting material, and they put these little plugs into it. I don't know if I could put well, I can't because the main jet is still plugged, the pilot jet is still in there. So you can't put a Premier pilot jet in there because there is a pilot jet in there. But anyway, these little plugs let you clean from both sides. These are pretty darn scruffy, and the needle is in the top position rather than the middle. I will move it back to the middle, which is your normal starting point. And clean these all up. So now I'm going to spend some time cleaning. Everything needs to be clean and shiny bright. I'll pull these out next and start cleaning, and then I'll show you the results of cleaning. All right, all the bits and pieces are polished, cleaned, decrudded. Everything's nice and shiny bright. I'll put these together now. I'll put this manifold back on. These two bolts and the manifold will go back on. I've got the new gasket. And then it's 11:15, and believe it or not, it's 109 degrees. And even with the cooler running in here, it's hot. So I'm not sure if I'll put these back on the bike or not, or just call it a day and go do some videos. I don't think I've posted the videos from the Norton rally. I honestly don't remember. I've been so exhausted the last couple of days. It's the heat and it's the stress from the problems with the deer strike on the RV. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. State Farm's going to fix the RV. It's costing a bunch of money, a lot, but whatever figure you've got in your mind, triple it. And that's what it's costing to fix my RV. And State Farm is standing up and saying, do it. So I'll get my RV back, they say, in about 4 weeks. So that's the good news. If there's any good news in hitting a deer with the RV, that they say they can fix it 100%, and then I'll get it back. So I'm going to put these together to make 2 carbs, and then decide if I'm going to put them on the bike. All right, it's oh my, it's noon, and I'm very tired. It's about 110 degrees now. Very hot in here. I've got the manifold back on the bike and bolted down tight, so that's good. And over here, the carbonizers are back together and looking pretty. And I can hang these tomorrow because I'm done for the day. I'm very tired. And so I'll just leave these here. It took a lot of cleaning, let's just say that. A lot of the small passages were just clogged solid. I expect that they're going to be just fine now. And I'll fire the bike up probably tomorrow. So from Griswold Road, that's a wrap.